Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, excuse me, to Better Together. When you know better, you get better. That's what we try to do here every single day. Our quote of the day, grief doesn't change you, it reveals you. That is from John Green. And I have been gone for a week or longer, guys. I can't remember.
It's been a week and a half.
Okay. Well, it's Monday, December 7th, 2020. I forgot to mention that because I've been out of practice. We are here today to give you guys a little update because we haven't been here in a little bit. And so Kelsey and I are back in Los Angeles.
That's right, we
are. And I first want to start with saying how grateful I am to our Heal Squad, to all of you out there who have been praying, who have been sending messages, who have been lighting candles, who have been sending love and healing energy. I have felt them all, and I've been so grateful. I tweeted out in a very, very desperate moment, asking for prayers, not specifying for, what, but I did know that in that moment, that's all I could do is pray when you get the kind of news that we got. So I am very grateful for all of you, and I knew I had to kind of get back on the horse today, and we're going to try to ease our way back in. I have my phone here because I might have to break if I get a message or a phone call from doctors, so forgive me if I have to step out and let Jeff and Kelsey take the wheel. But oh man. Okay, here it goes, guys. It's been a rough, challenging, probably 13 days. As you know, I've been in Connecticut prepping my home for my parents' arrival. We were going to spend Thanksgiving together. Then we canceled that because some family members had come down with COVID. And I told my parents I didn't think it was safe to get on a plane. And I thought it was better for us to just stay put, especially with Corona on the rise. So we canceled the trip. Kelsey and I thought we were going to be spending Thanksgiving alone in Connecticut, which was fine. Everybody's plans were changing, and we had been talking about it on the show, Jeff, I know, leading up to it, that everybody's plans were changing last minute. And Monday before Thanksgiving, my mom had her regular appointments at Cedars for her brain cancer. So she had her MRI, she had her infusions, and we got some not so awesome news. Now, watch very carefully the words I'm choosing. And by the way, as I'm texting people different things, every time I want to say nightmare, I delete it. And I say challenging. Like, I'm really trying to use my Better Together training, and it really has helped me so much. And so I think that sharing this journey and sharing how I've dealt with it hopefully will help you remember some of the episodes that you've listened to on this show, where we've gotten incredible bits of wisdom that you can apply and great tools. But, we got some not so great news on Monday. I think that's like November 23rd, that my mom's brain tumor was growing. Okay, we've been there before. That wasn't awesome, but my oncologist, Dr. Rudnick, and I agreed on a plan, and we knew what we were going to do. On Tuesday, the 24th, our caretaker called in sick. And Kevin, my husband, who's the super caretaker, went into action and was taking care of my mom right alongside my dad and Violetta, who you guys know. And I just said to Kevin, I'm like, I think I need to come home. I can't have you dealing with this alone. I'm like, I'm going to take an emergency flight out, and I'm going to surprise them. So don't tell them. So Kelsey and I booked last minute flights. We get on our flight, and I kept trying to think good feeling thoughts. I'm like, okay, let's watch something really funny on the plane so I can have good feeling thoughts, because I was a little nervous when someone calls in sick in these times. And so I set up corona tests for my family and the whole thing. And I have to say, I was watching Jackass on the plane.
And she was living for it.
Guys, I think people hated me on that flight because I was screaming laughing on that plane. And I was in a good place. I was like, okay, I think everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be good. And I'm laughing and I'm having fun. And I'm thinking, the second I get home, I am going to play these movies for my parents. Yes, we've seen them many times, but you forget. And we're going to watch them and have fun. Because Kevin was like, Maria, they're looking a little weak. I think they just need you. And I'm like, yep, on it. So we land. And that's when this all started. So I'm just going to share that we're still in process right now, and we still need as many prayers as you can spare and as you can share. But the long story short of it all is, within a few hours, both of my parents were diagnosed with COVID, and it was my mom. They had rushed her to the hospital when I landed. I found out. And then a few hours later, my dad tested positive. And so it was absolutely surreal. And at this moment, both of them are in separate hospitals here in Los Angeles. I don't know if this analogy is correct, but I remember my dad watching like old westerns, and like Dirty Harry had like 2 guns. So I've been calling myself Dirty Harry with 2 hospitals. And I've been fielding calls from, and they have teams. I mean, pulmonologists, hematologists, and this and that, and cardiologists, and all. There are teams of doctors dealing with each patient. And I'm on the phone, and they're clicking back and forth. And I'm like, hold on, this is my mom's doctor. Wait, are you my dad's doctor? Are you my...
Oh my gosh.
And it's been pretty insane. I will say one of the things I did in the first, couple days was I kept focusing on what my desired outcome was, not what my fear was. And that helped me a lot. And I think that as it has extended and I've gotten more and more tired, fear creeps back in. And so I've been working with Patty Penn, who's been amazing, and she's been helping me and guiding me. And I've had so many different healers that have been sending healing energy to them. It has been an incredible challenge. You work so hard to keep your parents healthy and alive. I mean, at least I have. And to see something like this happen, it's like it was bad enough on Monday to hear that about my mom's tumor. And then, the pile-on of that is a lot. But luckily, we've had incredible doctors, incredible nurses, incredible friends, and incredible family that have lifted us and helped us in this time. I can't say enough about these nurses who are now having to manage FaceTime sessions. That's not part of their job. I think in an upcoming episode, I really will share with you guys in a really organized manner what I did and what I've been doing that I think could be really helpful for you if you're in the same situation. You can't go into the hospital, you can't see them. And so there's a helpless feeling there, but you don't have to be helpless. You can still be engaged as an active participant and as an advocate and as their caretaker. And I will show you exactly how to do that and how I've done it and some tips and tricks that have been incredibly helpful. Obviously I can't say enough about Kelsey, who kind of stared Corona down in the face and said, I'm going to stay with you, and has been with me because we all had a quarantine in different houses and in different places. And so she's cooked for me. She's helped me do the whole thing. So Kelsey, I literally would not have made it without you. So thank you.
You know, it's so wild to watch someone like, and Jeff, we've talked about this a little bit, but watch someone you love go through something like this and kind of be like somewhat of a third party, right? Like I love her parents like she does, but obviously they're not my parents, but I love Maria and Kev like so much, and watching her hurt and watching her have to go through, it's so hard. So if you guys, if you have friends who are going through this, no, I'm not saying go stay with them, but I'm saying do everything you can, because even like you have no idea. I mean, she literally, it's call after call after call after call, like 24/7. That is not an exaggeration. That is not a joke. So it's just you got to be there for people if you love them. It's really hard. It's hard to watch you go through this. So I'm glad that I've been helpful.
Oh my God, I wouldn't have eaten. A shout out to the Chickless family on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
They fed us Thanksgiving dinner. Michael Chickless is literally, he has the biggest heart I've ever seen in my life. And when he heard, he was like, "We're your family. We have you." And he's like, "I just made spanakopita, and it's amazing." And so
it was so good.
so that was like breakfast that day. And
Yeah, we didn't have any.
we had no food,
utensils.
no utensils. We're living in an empty house that is, up for sale. And then they came back for Thanksgiving, dinner, and fed us like a whole turkey dinner. And my neighbors fed Kevin. It's been a lot, but you need somebody next to you. Sometimes I'd be like, here, talk to this person for 1 second, take some notes. I got to get on this one. And, it is a lot. And thankfully I'm a producer and thankfully I've been taking care of my parents for a long, long time. So I'm used to it, but this was a whole other level. And
I do want to say though, Maria, just as someone who's kind of been witnessing as a third party as well, you've handled this with a ton of grace. I know I can't even imagine how impossibly hard this is. And I know that you credit the show. I know I've learned so much from this show too. But you've been a vessel for both yourself, but our whole audience to learn these techniques. And I know throughout the next 6 months, year, whatever, we'll be unpacking this 2 weeks and learning with you about what you've discovered. But if you need to hear it right now, you've handled this beautifully. And I know it's been impossibly hard, and I love your parents too. So just keep it up. I don't know if you need this encouragement right now, but you're doing a great job, and I really appreciate you sharing. It's really cool for us as a part of your Heal Squad to hear you open up like this. So I know there's going to be a lot more, and you can share whatever you want right now, but you're doing great.
Thank you.
And I could say, just to piggyback off that, it's been kind of crazy. I mean, you guys, I've been living with Maria, and she's not a monster going through all this. Most people are. Most people just turn into, and I get it, like I've been there, but like a ball of stress monster. And like, my God, she still goes through with grace. And I'm like, woman. So truly, 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 truly. And I think that everyone can really learn from you, because if you start losing your ish, you can't help anything or anyone, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done so many things. And like I said, I'll share them in a more organized manner. I started to write everything down, and then I realized I think I need to do this better for you guys. But I would transport myself to, we have a healing saint in our church, in the Greek Orthodox Church, Saint Nectarios. And when I would be kind of lost, I would go to the church in Aegina in Greece and listen to the YouTube service and participate as if I was there live. And I did it this morning again, and that has helped me a lot. I'll share everything that I've done that's helped me cope, that's helped my parents along the way. But there's some funny stories along the way too. My my dad excuse me, my dad wasn't in the hospital initially. He ended up having to go to the hospital, someone brought him a coffee, and he goes, Maria, it's not Dunkin' Donuts. And obviously, you guys know Dunkin' Donuts has recently become a partner here on this show. And if you haven't heard before, I worked there from the time I was 13 to 19, 6 years, and they're like my family. I love Dunkin'. And they've been through so much with me. And anytime I've called them for help for a charity or when I wanted to help with relief with Hurricane Sandy, whatever it was, they've always jumped. But it was really funny. I had to get in the car and go get my dad his Dunkin' coffee because someone got him another coffee company he didn't like. And this morning when I was going in there, I was FaceTiming with him. And I said, sorry, Dad, I don't want to make you jealous, but I'm going through Dunkin's right now. Because he's like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to Dunkin's, not to make you jealous. And he goes, oh, say hello to Dunkin' for me, Maria. And so anyhow, it's funny how, coffee has like been my thing in the morning. Like when we were in Connecticut, it was so great, Jeff. I'd like get my coffee, I'd sit outside, I would, read, and then I would meditate. And it makes me feel good, like I'm doing something for myself. And in these dark moments, so we always say like we run on Dunkin'. I run on Dunkin' through the good and the bad. In the bad, it is like my solace. Like it soothes me. It makes me feel like there's some normalcy in my life. So I go in, the colors make me happy. It's bright. Today I have my amazing favorite almond milk latte, which is the smoothest, silkiest thing on the planet. Like, talk about soothing yourself. This is what this coffee does for me. And since they are partners of ours and we want to talk a little bit about what they do, I don't feel like a lot of people know that they make gourmet coffee, right? So their espresso is freshly brewed to order. So someday we'll be able to go back to Italy. There's nothing like going to Italy and having coffee. When Kevin and I went on our honeymoon, it was like the greatest thing we ever did. And it just is like, heaven. But this is my Italy, is going into my Dunkin', having my, Dunkachinos were my thing, but
What's that?
oh my God, we have to tell them. Oh no, I think I've told them before. I created the Dunkachino.
Stop. I don't think you have, because I don't think I've heard this.
No, Dunkachinos are an order. This is so fun. Thankfully, I can like shift a little here. Okay, so Dunkachino is half hot chocolate, half coffee. When I worked at Dunkin' Donuts back in the simpler days, before we had lattes and syrups and all these things, we had hazelnut coffee, French vanilla, black, and decaf. Okay? Then we got a dark roast. That was a big deal. But I wanted something a little sweeter. So I would mix my regular coffee. I'd take the hot cocoa mix and mix it in. And then I created the original Dunkachino.
So you want to know what we used to call that in college, Maria? We would call it the poor man's mocha.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would,
Oh, yeah. That was the other thing. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I created the mocha before the mocha.
exactly.
But you were in
Yeah,
college like
100%.
just a few years ago. I was in college a long time ago. So like
So
I am
we
the
learned it
OG.
from you.
You learned it from me like telepathically, probably.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they've got cappuccinos, they've got lattes, they got Americanos, they got macchiatos. So make Dunkin' your Italy. I sure have. And it definitely is keeping me going because trying to keep your eyeballs open as well throughout all of this is also challenging, and you really can't sleep, right? So you're the one in charge of all the healthcare decisions. You have to keep your eyes open, and so not gonna lie, there might have been a few runs a day, 2 runs. I tried one, and then sometimes I needed a second one later in the day to like keep going. But yeah,
Well, that's a part of our show too, is taking that time for you. I mean, like Jen Loudon, Shauna Nequest, Grace Harry. If I will say, I know we have a lot of people watching live now, and if this is your first time tuning into our show, what Maria does so amazingly is right now you're hearing her open up about the emotional experience of what's going on. But within the next year, she will take and give you all these incredible nuggets and takeaways about what she's learning. And if that sounds like homework, it's not. What I love about our show is you will be hearing about Maria's experience and our guests' experience in this way that you'll just naturally acquire all these tools. And Grace Harry says it's taking 5 minutes for yourself, and it's a game changer. If you're not taking that time to have a coffee, you will lose your mind. Like, I totally hear you, Maria, and I think it's a great point.
Even if you're not a coffee drinker, like Kelsey loves the chamomile tea there.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Or you got the green tea
Got
today.
green tea this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had the power breakfast sandwich too. Kelsey,
Delicious.
although Kelsey made me something the other night, I was not well, and she made me, because like I said, we have limited things over there. We have a pan, and we have some butter, and we have some bread and almond butter. So and we don't have a toaster. So she grilled a piece of Dave's bread, my favorite bread,
Okay.
and then she put a coat of almond butter on it and brought it into the room. And it was like one of the most luscious things I've ever eaten in my life. I now never will be able to just toast like bread and put almond butter on, because I'm going to be like, where's the butter flavor? But this morning I was like, okay, we're going for the power breakfast. Like, we're going all the way. It was like, I need eggs. I need the full like ordeal, because their power breakfast sandwich, what's amazing about that is those like little seeds that give you like this other texture. And then like the mushy egg whites and stuff. Like I love texture. That's why I always say this is the best coffee in the world, because it's like a smooth silk. But anyway, the last thing that I'll share with you, and it was interesting, yesterday when I was on the phone with Patty, and I can't say enough how grateful I am for her guiding me through, is she said to me, she said, worrying equals bad imagination.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, what? She's like, what we're visualizing, we're creating, because we're manifestors, right? And right now, things are manifesting really fast, she said. She said, pay attention to where your thoughts are going, right? Where are your thoughts going? My thoughts teeter. She was like, you're like 51% fear, 49% faith. She's like, so it's a quick little shift, a 2% shift. She's like, and you'll get there. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, and by the way, before, my brain tumor journey, before Better Together, I was probably like 110% fear. And I mean, not to say I didn't have any faith, but I was very fearful. And I've been working on it. But she was like, worrying equals a bad imagination. So we really are in control of our thoughts. If we spend our time worrying and focusing on the worst case scenario, not only might we just attract that, but we're weakening ourselves. And I know for me, I have to stay strong to take care of everybody, right? We're going to talk about a medical black book after this in another episode. We're going to talk about a lot of things. But how to simplify it so anybody can handle it. But I know that very quickly I shifted out of like that holy shit moment. I mean, I thought on Wednesday, the eve of Thanksgiving, that I was going to lose both parents, and it was real. And I just kept praying and focusing on my desired outcome. I kept saying, I see them holding my babies. And I just kept visualizing them holding my babies. We signed the final paperwork for us to be able to officially move forward. We got medical clearance like not too long ago. And I almost put it off again because I'm dealing with a massive crisis. And I said, no, we have to keep moving forward. Patty was telling me that she was tuning into my mom, and my mom was like, I want the babies. I want babies. And so she was like, you need to sign that paperwork and you need to tell your mom or show your mom the paperwork. And so we did it with my dad before he entered the hospital and like through the window. And we were on with a notary online and we did the whole thing and we signed it. And so my focus 99.9% of the time is on them holding my children, them hearing Yaya and Papu. And that's what I want to see happen. And if you've listened to the Anita Morjani episode, by the way, that has given me so much hope through this too. If you haven't, go back into the archives. It's deep in the archives. She wrote a book called Dying to Be Me. She was being read her last rites. She was like 80 pounds. Cancer had ravaged her entire body. But the priest was there. And there was this miraculous thing that happened. And she healed in 3 days from something that she had been fighting for years and now was going to lose her life to. So go back and listen. There are 2 episodes with Anita Morjani if you're in a trying time as well. And just know that there's always hope. And I've clung to that knowledge because I always like lived my life with, if someone else can do it, I can do it. If someone can wrestle, I can wrestle. Why can't I do it? Or I can do that. If they put people on them, I can go there. I can do anything anyone else can do if I put my mind to it and I do the work. So I always use that as a benchmark. But the same thing should be in illness. If someone else can recover, why can't your family? If someone else can get better and have a miracle, why can't you? It's all possible. And it's better to hold on to the possibility than to have no faith or to focus on the negative. It's not good for you and it's not good for them. So I leave you with that. Worrying equals a bad imagination. And I think we all are capable of having incredible imaginations. And so I am imagining that both of my parents are going to heal completely. They are going to be released from the hospitals that have taken such great care of them. And my dogs are howling in the other room. They're agreeing with me. And they are going to meet their grandchildren and enjoy them. And that's what I'm focusing on. And I just want to say thank you yet again to everybody who has helped us in this journey. If I forgot anybody, I will have plenty of episodes to remember, I'm sure. But an incredibly huge thank you to the doctors and the nurses and the staff who put themselves at risk to take care of our family on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on every holiday, wherever, whatever, they're there. And a huge thank you to everyone who has prayed and all of you. I mean, I've seen your messages. Kelsey keeps showing me and they just bring us to tears. So thank you. Please, if you have some prayers to spare, we still need them. We're still in process. And I just want to say thank you. And I love you guys. And don't forget to be nice people, make good choices, and be present.